Hello everyone, my name is Shubham Singh, and today I'll show you how I have built an iOS application, which is for all the platforms of the iOS devices, for the iPhones, iPad, and even for the Mac OS as well. So yeah, let's talk about the application, what I have built. So I have built an application which is basically used for an expense tracker. So it is basically an intuitive and minimalist iOS application to track your daily record expenses. This helps to manage your finances by recording your income and expenses in a user-friendly and a very clean interface, which I have built. It is very user-friendly, and with the ease to use features, it allow you to view your financial trends and stay on the top of your budget, even on the charts. So let's talk about the architecture of the application. So yeah, here's the application. So what I have built here, some of the assets I will show you. I have defined here the colors for the background and for the icons, which I will talk about later, like what are all the dependencies and packages I have used to build an icon, and for the text as well. So how the text should be recorded, like your withdrawals, your debits, transactions, everything. So yeah, so this is the content view. If I'll stress this, I'll show you. I have imported the SwiftUI. I've used the SwiftUI framework, and here I've used the SwiftUI charts for the data visualization for the transactions. So this is the code which I have written, the navigation view tool. You can see that what I have the texted here, the username, and later the data. I'll talk about the transaction list view model, which I have created here with a different component, and how I have expressed the data, if the data is empty or not, whether it is showing into the card view. So this is the card view. You can see that, yeah, this is the card view where you can see all the transactions, and as per the February date according to the calendar. This is the January. And if you will click multiple times, you will see the Deque method, which is the typical DSA architecture I have applied. So every time you will see this architecture, and it is like fine working with the transactions. So yeah, let's talk about the line chart here. What I have, how I've imported this, the background color which I've used for the system background. If it is in a dark mode, it will be showing like this, and if it will be in a light mode, it will show in a brighter phase. So later, yeah, this is the recent transactions view. So the most of the recent transaction view, like the five last five transactions will show on your home screen or the overview window. You can say define it. So yeah, this is how I have defined all the components in a content view. So this is the main page of the application. Later, I'll go through the application architecture and a very quick quiz. So this is the record of the expense tracker app where I have defined the content view and where I have listed the transaction view model, like how we can see. So I'll show here the transaction view model. So this is the ordered dictionary. You can see here the Swift UI collections, like the Swift collection. I've used the library for the TQ method to organize the transactions orderly. And I have used the mapping as well, the hash map, and receive the values, and whether the transaction is not like valid, so it will dump the older transactions. So this is the accumulative transaction functions which I have created. So it will show how the transaction prefix sum. So it will add on, suppose if anything is transacted, it will be positive, and like whatever the transaction is going to be debited, it will already calculated and define in between the interval as per the month and date. So yeah, this is the typical strings. No, not the strings as well. Like it is the typical data types, the variables which I have defined, like for the ID, date, institutions, account, merchant, amount, category ID, category, and everything. So you can see the data types as well, how I have defined here. And date pass function I have used for the date pass, like if it will show according to the calendar. So yeah, this is all the categories I have defined, and I'll show you how I have given these kind of like data. So I actually built an JSON file to track the record of the transactions. So this is all the data which is into the form of JSON. So with the help of this, I'm using, I'll show you where I have defined it. Okay, then in the content view. Yeah, you can see here in the transaction view model, transaction list view model, how I have fetched the data, like the get transfer function I have used, get transactions, and it will fetch the URL, and it will, if else condition I have applied, if the URL is invalid, it will show invalid URL. So this is how I have fetched the JSON file. I have called the UPI with the help of this JSON, the data which is converted into the JSON. So yeah, this is all about the complete uh, architecture of the application. And you can see the application, it is showing the username, and I have added the notification bell button as well. So this line chart is basically showing the data for the past 1 month, and if you'll click on this, you can see it will weekly show you like the per day, 2 days in a gap of the data as well. And later you can see here all the transactions accordingly from the past months. Say it's showing February, then January multiple times, because I have already applied the Deque method of the DSA. And here you can see the dark mode and the light mode of both of the application. So yeah, so let's talk about the dependencies and the other things. So I've used the Swift collection for the DSA restructuring and the DQ method, and I've used the SwiftUI chart for the data visualization on the line chart, and I've used this SwiftUIFontIcon for using these icons. Suppose this is STM for the bus, and this is corporate branch for the restaurants. This is for the payrolls. Someone is getting the payroll. So these kind of things. This is for the interest charges and your Uber, everything. So these kind of things, these kind of icons I have used with the help of SwiftUI font icon. I hope you like my application. I have already done the backend as well, where you can see all the data. It is showing in the form of JSON. So we can use this raw data for future use. Okay, thank you.